Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at which players to buy for Gameweek 36. In this series we look at the top players with predicted points to make your transfer plans and captaincy easier. Make data-backed decisions to maximise your chance of success. We also cover all the key talking points, considerations, and we look at the top players by position. We've also included the predicted points for the next 3 game weeks because we don't just want a player to have an immediate impact, we want them to be reliable for us for the rest of the season. Let's start with the goalkeepers, and Edison's top for the Man City double against Newcastle and Wolves. It's a really strong double for Man City with the Newcastle game at home and then away to Wolves, who are rock bottom for XG over the last 6 game weeks. Schmeichel and Pickford are 2 great picks for back-to-back double game weeks, particularly in Everton's case, who are fighting for their lives, while Leicester's priority is the European Conference League, and they play against Everton 3 days after Roma in the second leg. Therefore Pickford's one to strongly consider if you're eyeing up a goalkeeper transfer this week. Aston Villa also have back-to-back doubles, however in Gameweek 36 they face Burnley away and then Liverpool at home, which is a poor fixture pairing. Foster for 4.1 mil is an option as a backup keeper on a bench boost. However, it's now 9 games since Watford last kept a clean sheet, which was against Man United in Gameweek 27. On to the defenders, and top for Gameweek 36 is Trent by a narrow margin with 10.5 predicted points. Over the last 6 game weeks, him and Robertson are tied for chances created, corners taken, and their expected goal involvement is very close. However, Trent's played less minutes, and therefore his minutes per expected goal involvement is 300, as opposed to Robertson's 600. That said, Robertson has been the man delivering the most lately. The Man City defence has continued to deliver, and Cancelo is second with 10.4 predicted points. Walker and Ake returned to Man City training, but you'd imagine Cancelo continues to start for the remainder, having also missed the first leg of Real Madrid in the Champions League. Diaz is third with 9.6 predicted points. In last gameweek's video he was the recommendation over Laporte, as he's their only currently available right-footed centre-back, while Stones is out and he came away from the Leeds game with a clean sheet and an assist. Trent got rest in the last league game, while Robertson played then and also this week in the Champions League. That makes it 6 starts in a row for Robertson, however there shouldn't be necessarily enough to deter you from considering him, and he was withdrawn in the 79th minute when Liverpool were 5-2 up in aggregate. Matip for 5.2 is a real bargain with 7.3 predicted points. Konate's been favoured in the Champions League, while Matip's been the starter in the league, and you expect this to continue. Although he doesn't carry the same threat as the fullback, it's a significant saving that can be spent elsewhere. If you found this video useful so far, please drop it a like to support the channel. On to the midfielders, and Salah's top with 13.6 predicted points. He leads Gameweek 36 among all players for predicted points, however his effective ownership should be around 160%, so the gains will be negligible. If you need a high upside pick, then De Bruyne could be the answer. His effective ownership is predicted to be around 5%, which is staggeringly low considering his ceiling. He comes at an awkward price though, so the main route to him for many managers might be sacrificing Kane or Son and hoping that they underperform in their double and the Burnley game in Gameweek 37. It's certainly possible, but it's a high risk, high reward move. Morris is another huge differential and a very explosive player, but his minutes are such a gamble. He can play anywhere from 0 to 90 minutes or a cameo at the end. He started 2 in a row, only 4 times this season, but he has 6 double-digit returns. Son makes the list this week with 8.9 predicted points. It looked a tight one between him and Kane 6 game weeks ago, but since then Son has 73 points and Kane 37. Leicester have a generous looking double playing against Everton and Norwich at home, but again the story of many players this game is the uncertainty of their minutes. Barnes narrowly makes the list of 8.4 predicted points, but Maddison looks like a strong pick too. If Roma knock Leicester out, then perhaps we'll see them both start all remaining games with nothing else to play for. On to the forwards, and Richarlison's top with 9.3 predicted points, and he has another double in Gameweek 37 too. Based on reports, it looked like he'd only get a fine after throwing a smoke bomb in the Chelsea game after scoring. Impressively, over these final 3 game weeks he has just 0.9 less predicted points than Kane, which makes him an excellent pick this week. Over the last 6 game weeks, Richarlison has an expected goal involvement of 5.15, which is top among all forwards, and he's on penalty duties too. Nketiah has impressed since coming into the Arsenal side, and his attacking numbers have outshone Lacazette's. For 5.5 mil, he's perhaps the best budget forward in the game now. Pukki is another cheap forward who's had goals in him lately, despite Norwich's fate looking sealed. He has an expected goal involvement of 3.13 over the last 6, which ranks 6th among all forwards. Over that run he's had 3 big chances and created 4 big chances, which can only be beat by Kane's 5 created. Villa face Burnley on the road for the first of their double, and then they host Liverpool, so it's not a great looking double for Watkins. However, in Gameweek 37 they have back-to-back home games as a double game week against Crystal Palace and Burnley again. After a dreadful run of 1 goal in 13 games, Dennis has 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 3. And he's also one to consider as Watford double up against Crystal Palace and Everton, where you feel there could be a goal or two. That said, Nketiah and Pukki both look like better picks, and they have a high predicted points for the rest of the season. As with most of the Man City assets, Jesus' minutes are hard to predict, which makes him a very risky pick. The defenders and De Bruyne and Foden all look like more sensible picks. That wraps up today's video, thanks for watching. Before you go, please drop it a like if you found it useful. I read every comment, so as always leave one below and I'll be sure to read it. See you soon for the next one.